Sunday, March 12, 2023, Anachronism 3891 is called Anywhere But Here. I'm trying to divert my focus to what is beautiful. There are any number of beautiful diversions. So why exist in the darkness all the time? Why be sad at all, ever? This is certainly not a question that I've normally had to ask myself, but it is today and has been at times of recent. So what do I find myself doing? I'm watching the black and white whir at the top of a short film about Diane de Prima. This is what I happened upon a few short moments ago, and on the very same device onto which I'm presently punching out these lines. This is what happens when one goes through a tiny bit of effort. It's effortless at times, quite often actually, diverting one's attention away from the bleak and toward the beautiful, the blur of the whir of the black and white film, hardly paying attention to whatever it is upon which the focus of the camera leans. It's just a blur as if seen out the window on a train ride in the 50s or early 60s. There could be windows, out of which could be buildings, structures with insides scattered with real people that existed at the time this was filmed. People who cohabited, worked, or shopped. Folks who flirted, debated, or argued. What this blur gives my eyelids that are from the future, so to speak, is a bit of a buzz, a slight lift, as the words which were spoken by the subject of the film itself, but yet heard by me, as if simultaneously some 60 or so years later. The sounds which mirror the movement of the horizon, or whatever it is that shimmers and glimmers on the screen, whatever structures or open spaces were being passed by whatever passengers there might have been, in whatever train or moving vehicle. I'm guessing it's public transportation. It could be a Volkswagen van with large windows through which all this flitting and flickering occurred. This vague movement from right to left, as if someone or as if the camera itself is being transported, just so that what it picks up on film to be watched, in this case several decades in the future, lifts these eyelids like a bit of a buzz, a literal high that enters my heretofore sad or bleak self. I am lifted a bit by just taking in the sight, the movement that exists on the screen of the device that I soon thereafter watch these, my very own lines of description, pile into a shaped form in front of me, a form that could, if one is only a bit imaginative, look a bit like a cliff or a bluff that is reaching higher and higher into the sky, that is beautiful, that is like no other cliff or bluff, that reaches, until it has made its place, become its own fresh location upon a planet, something like, but not quite like, Earth, begins to be formed in and around it, and the possibilities for more beauty on this planet in this new location, partially formed by me, partially formed by the device onto which my fingers are audibly clanging, partially informed by the short film about Diane de Prima, I'm not sure which way that goes, I'm sorry, I do love her, which I just watched, rest in peace, which I just watched a few minutes before, are all giving me this gift, a new cliff or bluff, a mountain, or you might instead call it a hill with texture and height, all of which are just a beautiful diversion from what had been a bleak morning. This is how one might easily, with very little effort, improve one's outlook. Transporting from a sad or bleak moment into an alternative moment. A beautiful one, in fact. Can you see it?